What's up guys, ChasingLamely here, welcome back to the city of Lameville on City Skylines, and today we're going to do a bit of a one-take wonder. Hopefully we're going to try and build a brand new residential area. I want to try and build a commercial district, and I want to try and build our university campus area to our little drive through the city. I've added a few things off camera just because I don't think I'm going to have fire coverage, so I did some of that, and I sorted out some power issues and a couple of schools. Nothing too dramatic. I added a few houses, but we're still growing, so we shall see what we can do as we go on a long old drive. We're on a long old drive through town. It all looks very nice, so that's what really matters. But I'm going to come out of this now, and we're going to go and show you what we're doing. We're on this little Jeep with Siobhan Evans. She's on a bit of a mission, as we can see there, and if I can make that stop following her, that will be ideal, because she is going the long way around and we don't need to be following her. Come on, click. There we go. I didn't want to do that, but that's fine. That will all work out for the best eventually. Right, so last time out we built this area here. We did a few things up here. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend, because I've kind of in my head this area here I want to be a big kind of industrial area. We've currently got demand, and I'm going to put it on pause while we do this just to make things easier. We've got a big demand for housing, we've got a big demand for commercial, so what I was going to do is come over this side of the city, and first thing we do is extend the highway so we can give ourselves a sort of a nice area to build, which is going to kind of mirror what we've got, here. So we're going to grab our highway junctions and start there. First thing we're going to do is going to put in one of these clover leaves again, because they're very helpful. That might be too close together, but we'll see if we can make it work. I'm sure it will be fine. I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put one there. And this may work and it may not, because I've not tried this before. Hopefully it will work out. It says slope too steep, which is not ideal. I don't want to anarchy him because that's just not okay. Also, I'm really bad with anarchy, so we'll work with that for now. What we have there for now. We'll take these highways. We'll use the silent highways, the sound barrier highways, just because I think they're just slightly better personally. Especially if we are going to be putting some residential area and some areas for people to study, it'd be nice for us to be able to do it quietly. Having the weird situation with the let's turn that around before we forget. Turn that all around. And yeah, we'll carry on building out start building our university campus. I've let the game run for a while just so we build up some actual money, because I felt like having money would be beneficial. Call it life experience, but it tends to be how that works out. We're going to build that up there just to make sure we don't fill up that space too quickly, and we'll do the same from this end here. Yeah, I want to make sure we don't use that space for anything other than what I kind of intended for it to be used for. And also because eventually we'll connect up to the other highway out on the left there, as you can see. So that's going to be a thing. I've turned too much around there. That side of the basket. There we go. That was what I was aiming for. And then what we'll do here is we will stick in I feel like it's going to be a small roundabout. Will do the job. We'll stick a small roundabout in just there. That's going to become sort of part of the central hub, really, of what we're doing. So we're going to put a roundabout in here. I'm then going to put another roundabout in here. Like I said, these will just kind of form the hubs of our little areas. So we'll put these roundabouts in, and then what I'll do, I'll take our district painting tool, and if I can find, I haven't got the campus area unlocked yet, so we'll work with under the assumption that I am going to build a university campus area at some stage. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint a district here. This district here is going to be kind of our leisure district. That's the kind of specialisation I'm looking for in this area here, and obviously this will change. I'm just kind of painting it for now, just so we can see easily what we're working with. We're going to put a commercial district in there. We're going to put a living district in here. There will be housing in the university area as well, because people who go to school need a place to live. That's just how life works, really. So we'll paint those. So yeah, we're gonna build ourselves a nice little kind of housing area and a commercial area, which I need to designate as a commercial area. But the specializations, if I've got it here, is that the leisure one? The leisure one's going to be the one that's not unlocked yet. We'll unlock it in a second. It'll be fine. We'll just need to make sure we know what we're doing, which those of you who've been following this series know is easier said than done, because that shouldn't be on those increments, that should be on the tiny increments. Right, yeah, know that that's not necessarily my strongest suit. So let's brace up these roundabouts, just so when we start messing with them, they don't screw up, because that will be important. Which is always a good. It's always a good tip too, to brace the roundabouts before you start playing with the outer roads, because otherwise they go weird shapes and they don't run like roundabouts anymore. I will use the traffic manager in a second just to make sure we even those things out. So what we need to do is connect this highway up here, which is going to be the first mission. We need the highway obviously to connect in, so people can get into and out of our city. So we're going to bring in those silent roads again. And I'm going to try and curve them in. That's kind of my plan. Hopefully, because that will stop people having to slow down. And that is what we want, is people not having to slow down to get onto and off of our highway. And then we can sort of connect up these other roads off of them using the small roads we were already using. Which hopefully, if I remember to put that on there, that will snap on there. And that will snap on there. And actually what I might do is, while I remember, because I know these already without looking, these roads are going to get busy, we're going to use our 4-lane or the 6-lane, the 4-lane road, just for now, the 4-lane road with trees. A, because they look nice, B, because they cut down on sound, and also they'll take that little bit more traffic, because we're going to have roads that come off of this road as well. And that will just assist us in making sure things move more quickly, more smoothly. So we're going back to our single roads, and we will start building off here. We'll do one road in that direction. We'll do a road that direction first, why not? And a couple off here. That's going to kind of mark the outer side of the district that the area will build off of. This will come round hopefully to here. Hopefully. You have to connect them there. It makes no real odds where you connect them, as long as people can get between everything you've got down without having to necessarily go through the roundabout. And eventually we will also bring them back across the highway to make it easier for people to get in. That didn't work out the way I intended. Come on, there we go. Yeah, that's sort of the hope. I'm hoping these aren't too close together. This can be the beginning of our little commercial district here, and then we will build the campus area last. And then off here, I'm going to just kind of take these roads up as far as they'll go, and that can be the start of our housing area. Because as long as it doesn't connect up to any of these other roads here, we should actually find ourselves with enough room to build. And so once we've done that, we'll lay down some pipe work too, because we're going to need water. I've said it before, but water is a thing that people need as a basic human need. So we try and supply it to all of our citizens. We do it free of charge, and I say free of charge. It costs us a fortune, but it makes it worthwhile. And those are not close enough together to make it worthwhile. Cross that bridge when we come to it. We just want to get ourselves enough water to, to function as a society. There we go, that overlaps nicely, and that'll overlap nicely there. And we've got an area to start building now. We're going to try and address some of these needs. And the reason I've got the game on pause, by the way, while we're doing this, is because A, we're close to the next milestone, which is 7,500, which is where we're going to end it. But I kind of want to make it like an instant pop kind of appear. I just thought it would be quite nice for us to have that a little surprise at the end of the episode, as it hopefully all works out the way we intended for it to. These roads, like I've said before, I just kind of like them to go off in random directions. I don't know why, it just makes me feel weirdly better about stuff. It feels more natural. This is how people generally in the real world design housing estates. So I thought we could just do that. That looks like it'll work out nicely, and then we'll come off this side as well. There's probably too many junctions here. I think I've talked before about the importance of not having junctions too close together, but I do think it will work for now. We're not in a position where we're starting to accumulate a lot of traffic, so we'll hope for the best with this, is kind of what's going on. And also, when I do curly roads, and this is going to sound, this will be the one where I get kicked off of YouTube, but I always worry when I do it that I'm going to end up making something that looks like a swastika unintentionally. So if I do, sorry, it genuinely wasn't intentional, but when you play with roads like this, it is unfortunately a clear and present danger. That should do not. I'm worried about people not wanting to live that close to the highway, but you know, needs must and all that. Bring that one out quite far. We can build off of that one. I'm trying to avoid having to do a long edit on the episode today, because it does take time to get it. So that's going to be that's our housing area. We'll start marking that out with housing now. We're just going to grab that, and we're going to do like a dragon sweep, I think, which hopefully will solve most of that. Just because that will stop me from forgetting that I intended for this to all be housing. I haven't really quite caught all of it, but I'll catch most of it, and that's going to save us some time and some clicking. So we've done that. We'll take the ones off the roundabout, because obviously we don't want those on the roundabout. We're going to get rid of the brace roads as well before we open the city up, because otherwise things will just start appearing there that we don't want there. We don't want any housing on the roundabouts, because that would be an awful place to live, and it will mess up our traffic system. So we'll just add those in there, fill in the last few gaps there, and that should be most of it. Cool. Okay. And now for the commercial areas, because they are commercial areas, I don't mind doing a little bit more of a griddy system with them, because it feels like that's how you would line up a business area. So we're gonna grid that a little bit, only a little bit. We're not going full grids. We're not going to go quite that far, but you know, just enough to give us that feeling that it's not a residential area, is basically what I'm going for here. So we're going to kind of build out there. We're not going to take it all the way to the roundabout, because we don't want that to happen. The reason we don't want that to happen is because that's just asking for traffic. It's just begging for traffic to form. We'll take those off there. Build a through road there, because why not? And then this side, I guess we're going to go pretty much the same, just across there, and again we'll go across there, but instead of connecting that up there, we're going to connect that up straight to that one, and that should work out nicely. And then we'll just finish off this area up here. Again, we'll just do a couple of rows off the side there. This should take care of all our commercial and residential needs for a little while, which is very helpful. Line that up with that, more or less line it up. Let's completely line it up. Just to split the difference really, there, because I quite like a little T-junction at the end, and then we're going to add all that in to be commercial, and hopefully this should be enough to get us to that next level. Before I open it up, I am going to also put in a whole bunch of amenities of services, you know, things like police and fire and all that stuff that people need to keep themselves happy. You'll notice that obviously there wouldn't normally, if you're playing on some vanilla game, you didn't have all the mods running. You'd have to run a power line across, but because I have the electrified roads mod, we should be okay for power on this one. I don't know why I'm not just doing a sweepy grab, because that would be far more sensible. We'll do that, and we'll do that. Hopefully that will take care of everything except getting stuff off the roundabout. Like I said, you want to keep the roundabout as clear as you possibly can. Otherwise you'll just have stuff stopping to deliver, people stopping to shop, all that kind of stuff happening on your roundabout, which none of us really want. And also it's a good kind of how-to guide for planning your city a little bit too, I think, because I've tried little experiments on the game before where I've tried to effectively plan a city and then just open it and see what happens. Sometimes it goes really well, and sometimes it goes really badly. More often badly than not, I'll be honest. But it does work out. Just make sure I paint those in there. Okay, that's definitely room for a shop. Yeah. Why is that not taken? I don't know. That's fine. So let's throw in some amenities in before we get houses in. So what we're going to need is a screen jump. We'll throw in a school. I'll probably throw in the school somewhere near the main road there, the elementary school. We will throw in a high school somewhere where hopefully I've left room for one. There should do quite nicely. And then we will add all of our medical services in here as well. So we've got our little medical clinic, which should just about cover that entire area. We'll stick that there. We will stick our child health centre thing in opposite it, because why the devil not? We'll have an old people's home somewhere here, anywhere here, where it'll fit. If it will fit, come on, we'll go in there somewhere. Slope too steep. Oh, there we go. It almost took. There we go. We found a place for it. Just like little things that are, you get them in early, and then they kind of help people to upgrade their places more quickly. I don't know why that's not working. I don't understand. Fit in somewhere. It's saying slope too steep because these roads are weird. I don't know why the roads are weird, which is the biggest issue I've got right now. But somewhere here it will fit in. Somewhere. I'm determined to get it in now. It's driving me mad. Space already occupied. Oh, there. That connected up. It's just a nice thing to have in the area. We will put a tiny firehouse down here as well, somewhere where it will fit in. The thing is, like, this doesn't have to be an exact science. I know people think there's kind of an exact science to it. There really isn't. You're really just trying to make sure you've got the entire area covered. I'm going to stick another police station somewhere centralish to the commercial district as well. So that should be all of our basic services covered. We'll throw a couple of parks in as well, just to make the place look nice. We've got the Japanese gun. The Japanese gun always looks good. We'll put that on the side road, just to be absolutely certain that doesn't cause too much problem. Another Japanese gun, another tangle gun, fitting down here somewhere, you'd hope. Apparently not. What else have we got? Castle Park, that should fit there somewhere. There we go. That will cover that nicely in glory. So now we've got that area kind of all built and planned out. I'm also going to use a couple of unique buildings just to attract people to the area, because I've already used the department store. It wasn't a big enough deal that I thought I should show you guys. But we're just going to trying to find the cinema. I know I've got the cinema unlocked. There we go. Feels like a good place to have a cinema somewhere in your commercial district. I think we'll put it there. It's not close enough to the housing to cause a problem, but it's close enough to give that kind of boost. I don't know if I want a winter market just yet. What else have we got here? Panda Sanctuary. If I can fit a Panda Sanctuary, I'll put one in, but if I can fit a Panda Sanctuary, I probably can't. That's okay, that's fine. What else have we got here? An Oriental Pearl Tower. It's not really the thing we're looking for. A temple complex. See, some of these are really big. What's this? This is a fantastic fountain. Well, we like a fantastic fountain, so you can go in there. Yeah, I'm just trying to... Things that are commercial in their way, but will add something to the area. So, music club feels like a no-brainer. So let's put it there. And then we'll build around it a media broadcast building. That somewhere off here, maybe there. And we've hit bottom of the money, more or less. A mall of moderation. Well, we're building a shopping area. It needs a mall. It can go there. And I think that's most of our commercially type stuff that we would want down for that area. there's an opera house that will come eventually, but you know, yeah, we're pretty much there. We're pretty much there. So let's reopen the city for business, and let's enjoy people moving in, shall we? Because that's after all what we did all this for. And then once we make it to that 7,500 landmark, we can start making inroads into building our university, which will be very nice. Let's speed this up because otherwise we'll be here all day. You can see all the houses coming in, all the people coming in, all the businesses coming in. You'll start seeing the needs bars go down. I mean, there's still going to be a massive demand for residential areas, but that's not the biggest problem. I'll put housing in amongst the university campus area. I have room here if I want it, if I need it to build more housing. I can always buy a square, take care of the residential need. It's just good to have the residential need. We have the need for people to come move in, and also, you know, if I need to, because well, I say if I need to, I will eventually need to. In fact, now I've said I will eventually need to. What I'm going to do is just give that a quick pause, because I'm going to need to connect this side of the city up with the other side of the city. So what we'll do is we will just bulldoze that road. We'll take that road. We're going to page down. Should we page down? Should we page up? Let's build a bridge. Why not? Hopefully that will go across there. Perfect. And then we'll take that road and we'll connect up there. And then this one we're going to have to bring round somehow. Will that go through there? It will just about. Good. So we'll bring that road through there, and then we'll sweep it round. Hopefully, come on, build it out. There we go. It's gonna get there. It will get there. It's not gonna get there. That's okay. I can make this work. Let's connect that up there. Drag that out. We'll drag that out. I'll put some housing on it. It'll be fine. And then we just sweep that down. Sweep that down to there. We can, like I said, we can put housing on that. That's not an issue, because we do have that demand. I won't necessarily do it right up. Let's do it right up to the bridge. Why not? I will at some point soundproof this entire highway, so it shouldn't be too horrible living there. Will be initially, but you know, it was a patch of land that I said you could build houses on when it started. If you build your house there, you deserve the noise. It's kind of my theory with that, but also, like I said, it's just going to give us that extra water supply in there as well, and we'll add that water supply for these people who aren't hooked up, because we've not got enough money now I've done that. But we will very shortly have enough money, because we are making a decent profit. When the profit has gone down a little bit now, I've put all those unique buildings and stuff in, but you know, we will get there, and eventually it will tick over with just enough cash for us to get that done, and we can start seeing things go ping. I think you're already hearing things going ping, and yeah, we'll start seeing this area really flat. In fact, there might be more housing and commercial zone designated here than we actually had demand for, but hopefully one will lead to the other. There we go, that's connected up now, and we'll connect it up this side as well as soon as we have the money come in. I thought I'd managed to gather enough money before starting recording to get all this done, but it turns out this whole thing is a tad more expensive than I thought it would be. But you can see, even while we're in the underground mode, you can see that we still have shops coming in. There are still houses coming in. People are building. We're filling our demand for it. There is going to be a demand for some industrial very soon, I'm sure, which we'll also take care of just as soon as we practically can. There we go, that's all those water pipes taken care of. Things building up nicely, like I said, houses moving in, you can see people coming in. I will delete the brace roads from the roundabout. I'll leave it in for the campus roundabout, because at the moment nobody's going to be going down there. It shouldn't be an issue, and while we're thinking about it, I say while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to set up these roundabouts properly, because I don't think I've done this is how you set up roundabouts. So first thing you want to do is take your junction restrictions, shift, click, and that will add giveaway signs and priority signs to your road. Same here, it's exactly the same thing. Then we're going to take that and we're going to just sort our lane arrows. So shift and click with the lane arrows button on, just so you have the outside road. You'll see it here, the outside road. It says left and straight on. Now it's just an exit, and we will do exactly the same for this road. This is future proofing above all else. We're just future proofing against traffic. And again, down this main road we'll do the same thing, because that way we shouldn't have people trying to use the same lane to get themselves through stuff. Just get that click just to make sure that's all set up before we get there. And then we'll do this one, which the actual junction restriction sign, the ones actually called junction restrictions, not the priority signs. And we're just going to make sure that people who are on the roundabout, they just go round. People who are coming onto the roundabout, they have to wait. And yes, I've just spotted that lane arrow didn't quite take, but you know, we can fix that there hopefully if it lets me select the right thing. Boom, like that. Yeah, we just want to make sure before this area starts getting busy, and it will turn into a busy area, that all of our roundabouts and things, everything is working to the absolute best of its ability, because otherwise we're just causing ourselves traffic for no reason. That we're going to stop happening. That should be fine. And yeah, you can see like people are already sort of starting to head this way. They're turning around up here for some reason, which is nonsensical, because you could just keep going round the roundabout. Just see what's happening here. You see, just going up, round, down. They're going up there, they're coming back down, going round, out round the roundabout, and then coming across off the roundabout. Absolutely bizarre behaviour. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I think maybe if I tell them they can pick their lane coming in, that should stop that from happening, you would hope, because that's not at all helpful for us whatsoever. You can see money is building back up very quickly, very nicely. We will start seeing things like the media broadcast building, 2 visitors last week, and a tourist, perfect. Where was that cinema we put in? Sort of cinemas already having people visit. I could extend these roads through quite easily to join this main side, but we haven't had a problem with traffic yet. I will keep them there so we have options, and now we've kind of taken care of all our basic needs. We're still waiting for the population to grow, so while we're doing that, and I'm trying to make this an epic episode, but you know, we'll see how that goes. I think I'm going to start putting in some bus lines, which is going to require me to have to afford a bus depot. Of course it is. What else do we need? Because we're not desperate for public transport, our traffic isn't that bad. What do we here? This is a taxi depot. We could probably use a taxi depot. We'll stick it in our commercial district, because taxis are quite a commercial thing. And then we can just stick taxi stands, places like that. We'll stick one here. Why not? We'll stick one just in anticipation on the outskirts of our university. And up here, taxi stands cost almost nothing, but they provide a public transport option for people. I want to try and squeeze one there on the main square. I said the main square, it's not really been the main square for a while, but I still think of it as being the main square. We'll stick one just here inside the industrial district. I don't know why it goes underground for this, but you know, it's not my place to question it either. Where can I get that in there without disrupting too much? There we go. I just want to get these taxi stands in places where I think people will make use of them. So round commercial areas, all that kind of thing. You know, somewhere like, say, this would be a good place for one. So we'll put one there on the other square, and maybe in the farm square as well. Why not? That gives us options. Gives us a way of getting people around the city that's actually less costly than using buses at this stage. So we're going to make that work. And let's go back to our new area up here. See how things are developing. They're looking okay. There's a need for unskilled workers. Well, truthfully, I'm not sure how to create more uneducated workers, because I like to provide my people with an education. Short of applying a district policy, which I'm not even entirely sure I have district policies yet. Do we have district policies for King Square? Can I tell them to be less educated? Sure, let's try that. So they've got the schools, but they don't feel obliged to use them, which will work out pretty nicely. Obviously, I've got to redistrict some of this stuff because there's obviously residential housing or the residential zone here, for example. We just give that a little repaint. Because obviously very little of that stuff is in that district. Just give it a little tidy up, just to make sure we keep what is housing and what is commercial separate from one another. They've got a lack of water up here, which we need to take care of. So let's just draw in we'll draw a water pipe all the way along the top, and then we'll connect it up. Connect it up there. Bosh, done. Right, I hope you guys are all staying safe at home. By the way, I've neglected. I like to do a little check-in on everyone, make sure you're all okay. Hopefully you've not all gone crazy during the lockdown. I know I've been on the verge of going crazy. Anyone who's seen my Twitter recently probably knows I've been on the verge of crazy at points. But you know, we have to keep going, and we have to keep kind of talking to each other about it. So that's why I thought I'd do it. We've got a lack of water, so I'm just going to chuck a couple of water pumping stations down in our main area. One thing I did think actually, once we get done with this, hopefully it'll come out there. At the moment, you can see I've got all the sewage pumping out into this river here. At some stage, I want to unlock this square here. I'm not going to do it right away, and I'm going to have the sewage pumping up there, so we've got fresh water coming down the main river. That's kind of my thinking with that. So that's what we'll end up doing. But yeah, things are going well. Our population is growing. It is heading towards that magic mark. We still have people moving in, and they all seem reasonably happy, despite living on hills for reasons I don't understand. I don't know why that's still zoned as a house. I'm pretty sure I turned off that zoning for houses, but we'll turn it off again. You'll have to go and find somewhere sensible to live, not on a roundabout. All that space, why are you living on a roundabout? It's just not a good move, and it's not a good look on anyone. Let's just quickly take the zoning. Just want to take a quick look, see if these taxi stands are being used. The taxis are not being used. Where are we at with our taxi use? Are they being used? You'd assume they were being used. They're being used twice a week by tourists. Well, by residents, and once a week by tourists. So people are using them to get around. That's a good start. That's something we need to happen. Let's get out of that screen because I can't stand it. I think we might just have enough to be able to throw in a bus depot. We're not quite at bus depot yet. We'll get there shortly. I said I was going to try this whole episode in one take, but I'm not going to be able to do it in one take because things are not building as fast as I'd like. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in a second when stuff has started working properly. Just so I was in the middle of laying down some paths for us because I felt like it would be nice for people to be able to walk around. We hit big town. I don't know why I can't get rid of that, but it was because I was in the middle of laying down paths probably. So now we can have that campus area, we can have taxation policies, we can have sports arenas, we can have all sorts of stuff, blimps and buses and metros and all sorts of craziness. An IT cluster, we can specialise in leisure finally, and a whole bunch of new policies, a whole bunch of new buildings. We can now use high density residential, which is going to be nice, probably around our campus area if I'm honest. And then we've got a whole bunch of fishing things and university things, new uni buildings, a sauna, emergency shelters, radio masts. We can make all sorts of magic happen. We can make blimps happen. We can make post happen. We have essentially got dreams to be lived right now. I've just noticed as well actually, this episode has gone almost half an hour. So what I might do actually is leave things there, because what we've done is, you know, substantial. We've essentially built an entire new section of the city, and I think maybe we'll come back in the next episode and we will build ourselves a nice campus area. So in the meantime guys, I've been chasing Lamely. Thank you much for watching. Please smash the like and subscribe buttons because that would be really nice of you. And also you can come back for the next episode of us building Lameville in City Skylines. But we will, I promise, finish off our transportation and we will build a nice university campus area that we can all be very proud of. So yeah, till next time guys, I've been ChasingLamely. Have a good one.